Rotary District Conference you imagine. We're busy crafting an amazing Cayman Rotary experience like none other. The flavors, the feel, the fellowship, the music, the color, the memories about to be created. Start your district conference experience now. Complete your registration online today. D7020conference.ky. We waiting, we ready. A message from District Governor David Cocaldi. Rotary, creating hope in the world.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk Today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, welcome and thank you very much for joining us. It's another wonderful Wednesday. We invite you to be part of our discussion. We hope that you were able to join Mr. Art this morning and, as usual, share and what he has to relay to be a part of it. So we want you. It's going to be open line, 949-8037, 949-6990. Of course, the WhatsApp 925-3261 is available. Let's talk, let's guide, let's nurture, let's encourage, let's hold each other accountable, let's step up the plate and be responsible. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is reminding you.
Avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Email Talk Today at candw.ky. Let your voice be heard. And now, back to Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us. And as we shared yesterday, we were expecting MLA Chris Saunders, and as you know, their schedules are very demanding, and sometimes they have to make some adjustments. So on his behalf, we apologize. He will join us at some other time when that's convenient. But it's open line, and what they say, you got to pivot. Well, we're here for you with the first call in the queue. Let's go straight to the phones. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good day, Mr. Sterling.
Hey, I know that it is, and I hope and pray that it'll even get better. How are you?
Man, I'm good, but I believe in excellence, like I say.
That is important, man.
Taking it to the next level, it's all about the money.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
All about the Benjamins, I think a song we hear. I'm gonna challenge you, right? And thank you for listening. But why do you think it's all about the money? I mean, show me the money. It was a famous line from some movie that we all watch. Why is it all about the money?
Oh, you better believe that.
No. I don't agree with you, but you tell me why it is. Convince me. Why do you say it's all about the money?
No, I lost so much in life, Mr. Sterling.
Okay.
And I've forgiven people. I try to forgive. I lost house. I lost this. I lost cars. Okay. I lost all kind of things.
So let me ask then. Have you lost hope? No? Okay.
That's why I'm saying it's all about the money now.
Oh, no, man. Listen, Billy Joel, right, as you know, and probably everybody, what my friend used to say, even the school children in China would know. To me,
you better believe that.
Billy Joel is the greatest singer-songwriter. He's the storyteller. And he sings...
Oh, yeah.
He sings, it's all about soul, right? So to me, it's about, not about the money, man. So you convince me. Let's see if you can do that.
No, man. if you see what I'm saying.
I hear you. I see what you're saying.
If the policeman tell me I can sue him that I can sue the people
Yeah.
for destroying my stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
My mother picture, and I haven't forgotten. Maybe I've forgiven, but I haven't forgotten,
Yeah, I hear you.
My mother picture was inside my place.
Yeah, man.
They took out my landscaping equipment. They took out all kinds of things, jewelry. I had one big box that I was putting money into.
Yeah, man.
And I don't like to say that, but everything is gone.
I hear you, man. I hear you. But listen, right? I listen to you.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I heard that if I'm willing to talk, you're willing to listen.
You know, that's something that I'm so glad that they say, because I didn't realize that is something that I subscribe to and I would share. And the reason why is that I think you need to be an active listener, and that takes effort and consciousness. But you got to listen to understand, not so much always to respond, right? And I'd say this, increasingly I'll use the word I, because I never used to, right? But I'm willing to take responsibility. I'm willing to be held accountable. But if I'm not paying attention to what you're sharing, then that's a disrespect to you. But I would say this to you, spouse or friend, if I am trying to talk to you and you turn your back and you walk away, I keep quiet, because that means that you don't have time for me. I don't care if you think you can walk, and listen to what I say.
But remember, sometimes you see, I don't know if you heard about the little microphone thing, the little, what you call it, that people use to broadcast things. There's so many different ways to broadcast things, But anyway, someone took my stuff. The latest, I've decided to forgive.
Yeah.
All that I lost, plenty of things that I lost, But listen, I had enough,
Yeah.
People just try to bully you, and they try to stand up and take you for a fool.
Mm-hmm.
No, in this latest 2 cases, I don't want to be specific, but I'm hoping they pay me my money.
Yeah.
And don't make it go to the next election, because don't give me all that power,
Right.
Don't listen now. Don't give me all that power, because you never know where the power will go. Now, I know who I'm talking about.
Right.
If I were them, they work for the bigger heads. And if I were them, I would pay me my money. I got nothing to say.
Yeah. Well, I'll say to you that in listening to what you shared, and certainly there are things that are much more important. And to you and to our listeners, as promised and expected, and I didn't share that at the beginning, Mr. Mario D. Rankin sits here to help us to encourage conversation. So he's in the studio, right? But remember you said just then it's all about the money. That was what you repeated a couple of times. Yet the picture of your mom is the thing that you value and want and miss the most, right?
And it can't be paid for.
And it can't be paid for, right? So
my aunt was looking for the picture. She's over in the States. She was looking for the picture.
Okay.
And a lot of people, there's no other pictures.
Yeah, man.
I don't want to be real angry right now,
No, don't be, man. Don't.
I just asked this lady on the phone.
Yeah.
Give me a check for a certain amount. I'm asking you to, not trying to bully anyone, but just I'm cutting the costs down. Cutting down the cost, right? Cutting down the expenses. I've been bullied too much, and I had enough. This is the latest one I'm talking about,
Okay.
I forgive for house and everything that I lost. Almost the whole came I know about that, because I go on the street and I talk it, When you do me something like that, and think that the law gonna protect you, and talking about lack of enforcement and this and that, I go with a loudspeaker. The radio came on, mightn't broadcast it, but I can tell you one thing. I'll get a broadcast in another country and make them hear the news in Cayman.
All right.
No. Yes, sir.
Were you, as a listener, what may be important, like you said, you're a man with a strong sense of principle and excellence, right? And that value of the picture is priceless to you. So maybe, our mutual friend, you can give her a call again and see how we can navigate it and see how, it may, you know what I mean? You follow me?
I like to, because I don't believe in fighting people down for my own stuff,
No, man.
I had enough. Some lesson got to be learned. I can't just make people just keep walking on top of me. and taking everything that they can. I can't afford that anymore. I lost a lot, and it's stopping right there, my friend.
Okay.
And I'm hoping to be paid my money, and it ain't not for no blackmail or nothing like that. I want my money is not as much as I'm supposed to get.
Yeah, man. You
money to pay me. I don't want to say who it is.
No. We let's talk about that separately.
Right. They know what they done. They know what they done. They're talking about they putting cleaning lady. I heard the police were talking about this cleaning lady, this suspicious cleaning lady going into people's place and taking people things.
Yeah, man. Listen, give her a friend a call, okay?
Brand name, what you call it, cleaning company. That was just an independent person.
Yeah.
And it's a long story, but no, everything disappeared out of my place. I gave no person no permission. They put their hands on my keys, went into my place, and took out everything I had inside there, jewelry. And it's bad to say all this kind of stuff because the burglar now will be watching people place.
Yeah, man.
I can't find a dollar that I had in this. I had a big box up in there, dropping money in there, and never look at the money, never check, and decide to check. You see, that's the bad thing about going into people's place, without permission. Now the man can see he had $1 million inside there,
Yeah, man.
Right? Now I haven't said how much it was yet because I don't know how much it was, but I surely was doing it. Now, I'm asking them people to give me the couple little dollars. I'm not excited or fussing like some other people. They know who they are, but I can tell them one thing. Don't make it go on till the next election, or even election mode, because we don't know what we will hear.
Okay. All right.
And I didn't say who it was,
No, man, no.
I had nothing for them,
No, man.
They know who they are. They know who they are.
Exactly, man.
Two of them work at the hospital.
Yeah.
Don't hide nothing for them,
All right.
Let me tell you something. Pay me my money, Bobo.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, but listen. I mean, like you just said about earlier, right? The value is in the picture, not the money. So as much as you can see the financial part, you know the value. And so that what that picture means to you now is get you to a space where you understand the importance, right? You should get a call from our friend very shortly, okay?
Well, Mr. Sterling,
yes, sir.
Something. Yeah. I can tell you another story. I'll tell you another story about the house now. This one of the first things that happened to me, Now, after my mother died, about 2 months after, I can say it anyway. I forgave. Sold the place, lost my share of property and everything else. I make the whole Cayman know. Even foreigners will tell. Even foreigners, everybody know about it.
Okay.
No, my name is Craig Brown. Now, when you do something to me with like that, I go and broadcast it. I'm not going to hit you with my hand. I won't hit you with my hand. But I'm going to hit you in an emotional and mental way, in a psychological way.
Yeah, man.
And punish you and make sure, listen now, give me my money.
Right. So do this shit, right?
I forgave about the house, I forgave about that, and I forgave about a lot of other things.
Right. So, Craig, do this then, right? You know, remember that song, Hit Me With Your Best Shot?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So what you do now is, while you're thinking about it, get your pen and paper, maybe your phone, and you record it if you...
Well, I got to tell you something. Now, what I did...
Yeah.
I got the man who went inside my place and talking about, I must tell my lawyer that it's him.
Yeah.
I started to not to be specific.
All right.
Right?
All right. But do this, right?
I got people watching him, and I said, see the thief over there? The man who went inside my place, and the other woman right there.
Yeah, man.
Thief, that's what I call them. My things went missing.
Yeah.
Thief.
So we
I got nothing. I got no time to play with people. I got to defend my mother.
Yeah.
And I defend my father.
Right. Well, what you do, right?
My mother picture out there, my father picture, the funeral from my father and everything else.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Give me my money.
Yeah.
Give me my money for my things.
Yeah. Take this time now, right? And put your thoughts, whether you want to record it, whether you want to write it down, video it, so that emotion, right, that passion, that importance now, you can capture it. when we hang up, take a couple of minutes, do that, and then maybe later on we can talk about it.
In a good mood, you know.
Yeah.
I need to be in a good mood because I got music to do.
Exactly, but
a lot of things to do. I don't have to, I don't want to be focusing on these things.
No.
That's
But
what I'm saying. I want a couple of little dollars
mm-hmm.
for my things, which is not as it is less than the value of my stuff.
Yeah, man. The money is in the part, man.
You
So
know who I'm talking about.
right, yeah, man. All right, put it down because I want to hear what you come up with. Right, take that energy down that you feeling and put that in a song or something, and then get back to me. Right, I want to hear from you later. I'll give you a shout. But look out for the call from her, okay? Hey, thanks very much, man. Thanks very much. I don't want to be disrespectful or dismissive, right? But Mario, when we listen to Craig talking and we understand, like so much material things, money is important because they say money makes the world go round, it pays your bills. Some would joke and say money can't buy happiness, but it allows you to choose your misery. What I'm getting from him is that the value of a society, and as he said it outside, the standard of excellence. You come, give us of your time, you shared, and thank you, by the way, for doing that, allowing me to read some of the things that you shared. It encourages discussion, right? So no matter who we are, where we are, and the space we're in at that time, it's important that we contribute and we listen to each other's, views and the like. But more importantly, we ensure that they have the understanding that they should not only encourage, but they're required to share their views, man. You inspire many. I think you, like No BS and others, we have a few increasingly who are saying what they say, but boy, are we listening. Anyway, afternoon to you, man. Mario D. Rankin.
Afternoon, and thank you again always for the open invitation to come on Radio Cayman.
Yeah, man.
I think it's a great platform for persons to come in and share their opinions and views and concerns and all the things that they have on their mind, right? Certainly, I know Craig. I've known Craig all my life. His mother actually was best friends with my grand aunt, Sister Janice, who raised me and my brother Randy.
Yeah, right.
So I am super familiar with that family, and his mother was probably one of the most kindest, gentlest people I've ever met in my life. So I kind of understand where he feels a little bit jaded on her possessions and her photos and whatnot. So I certainly can sympathize with that and understand where he's coming from in that regard. Now, I don't know the full details in which what he was talking about, but as I mentioned, I do know his mother very well, and she's had Sunday dinner at our house more times than I can count. So that being said, I can sympathize a lot with Craig in regards to defending his mother.
Right.
So Miss Virginia, she was a good lady.
Okay. Well, let me see if I can not pretend to be multitask. I don't think that's possible. All right. Pay attention. So we take the break, sir, or we can keep talking? Keep talking? Okay, he says we can talk, if possible, without drawing a breath between now. No, just kidding. But I see the shares are looking at a couple of the comments that are coming through, as you were sharing and as Craig was saying. This is what builds a community. This is where the strength of who we are and where we are, where we can say, and I'm glad that Mr. O.C. says it daily almost, be your brother's keeper, right? And when I see what's happening in our society, I always ask myself, are we our brother's keeper? And is that interpretation and also application the same for everybody? All right. Take you, for instance, your public commentary, whether video, audio, or in writing. It's of an opinion, my view of it, from a considered perspective. It's shared that you're gonna allow people to critique it. Some may like it, some may not like it, but at least get them hopefully thinking.
Right.
And I'm fearful that globally, but in the Cayman context specifically, those freedoms are not only being eroded, they're being denied by whatever means, but even by ourselves. We're imposing a sense of sanction on ourselves because, boy, if I say that, I won't get invited, I won't get a taste of the chocolate cake, I won't get to the reception, I won't get the award, and I'll offend my friend. How is it that how can we get that space where it isn't vitriolic, it isn't divisive, it's to be shared so that it can encourage good discourse?
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. And when I think back on a a lot of the activities that took place in the home or in the family from in the 80s, and I can only go as far back as I can remember based on my age, you know. So I'm not trying to get into the 60s and 70s, but what I will say is that there is a lot of practices that have been faded out and has now essentially disappeared from the day-to-day life in Cayman. I know we see and hear a lot of people using the term Caymankind. I am absolutely disgusted with the term because we don't have a Caymankind. We had a Caymankind. Why? Because we used to have a Cayman brand. And for all of those who want to take offense for my comments in regards to Caymankind, feel free to do so. It's your right. But what I will say is this, is that until we can establish back a brand of who we are culturally, historically, we can't sit in a room full of people who want to come up with a devised plan, action plan on where Cayman is going to be in the next 50 years, how are we going to get there, if we don't have any identity. We have zero identity. So it's going to be very complicated, and it's going to be a huge task for us to try to determine where we're going and how we're going to get there.
Right.
So we always hear the term, who are we developing for, what are we turning into, Cayman gone, Cayman lost, and all this stuff. I read this very long, interesting article about Cayman gone, and at the very, very end, the last paragraph threw me into a tailspin, right? And it's this whole climate change, global warming stuff. And I was like, why would that even have to be added into this cultural melting pot of opinions and differences and development? And I was like, okay, this is a great article, right? Now, what I will say is this, is that in the last couple of months, now I don't know what it is, I don't know what triggered it, I do not know, Sterling. I can only say it to you on how I have interpreted it in my own personal capacity. All the things that I've read over the past, I would say 15 years strong, 20 years to stretch it, and all the things that I've seen materialize over that period has now starting to jumble up and bunch up in my chain of thought. So I decided to write it. I decided to put it out in writing. Hence the reason why I share certain posts. Some things I don't share because some people are not ready for that sort of reality and honesty. So I don't share certain things. I'll share in a small group of people who I know will appreciate it, such as yourself.
Thank you.
And not many people get to see the light of day of those things because I'm not afraid of what rhetoric will happen.
Those are personal ruminations now as you figure out how to, So
I just fear that they would be misinterpreted and people get the wrong message and it may create some sort of fear mongering. I don't want to be responsible for that. No. You know what I mean? So that's why I reserve certain comments and certain posts for a circle of people who I know would be appreciative of it. You know?
Thank you for doing that, man.
But I also feel the urgency of wanting to create the awareness so people are aware that you do have people who are thinking outside the box. You do have people who want to implement the right things. You do have people who are well aware of what the issues are that are fundamentally destroying our sustainability. So for me, I don't advocate for trying to be a better person than the next. I just want everybody to be on the same level. Now, when I say that, I mean that with a very broad stroke of the term. Meaning that we should all be able to survive on the wages that we work for. We should all be able to buy groceries and keep the lights on and live somewhat of a decent, sustainable life. Whereas you're going to have some people who are in a better financial position, sure. But why should anybody in Cayman be starving who have a full-time job? So something is fundamentally wrong with the system.
Okay. With that, let's pause. We take the break, take some calls. Please stay tuned. It's open line. Mario D. Rankin, is going to facilitate the discussion. Stay tuned.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Say hello to Los Angeles. Explore foodie havens, local markets, art exhibitions, cultural shows, theater, you name it. Getting to LA is easy with 2 non-stop flights weekly aboard Cayman Airways. Midweek airfares are now on sale from just $410 CI round trip to LA. Some conditions apply. Check out our socials for more inspiration and visit CaymanAirways.com to book. Sale ends February 14th. Now is the time to see LA your way.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
This Valentine's, Digicel has something special. Join our shared postpaid plan for unlimited data and minutes for both of you. Plus, get 25% off for 6 months. Activate a 5-day Prime bundle for 2 SIMs at $14.99. Enjoy free calling between both and 25% off for 6 months. Make this Valentine's memorable with Digicel Cayman. Visit us today for unlimited connections. Digicel, connecting hearts this Valentine's.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Do you own a 1996 to 2016 Honda vehicle? There is an ongoing urgent safety recall regarding faulty Takata airbags that can seriously injure occupants in Honda vehicles. Please go to HondaCayman.com/recalls to check if your vehicle is affected. The automotive industry continues to face an unprecedented challenge in the recall and replacement of millions of Takata airbag inflators. Honda is committed to addressing the needs and concerns of our customers who are affected by this safety issue. Honda stands behind the safety and quality of our products. The protection of the drivers and passengers in Honda vehicles is our paramount concern. Please go to HondaCayman.com/recalls or call us at 949-5525 to check if your vehicle is affected by this urgent Honda safety recall.
It's Open Line on Talk Today. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-8037, 949-6990, or 925-3261. Call now.
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us, and thanks too to Mario D. Rankin for sharing his thoughts with us. Mr. Rankin, we've got a couple of callers online. Yes, take the calls and enjoy the conversation. Welcome, thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dr. Sterling. Good afternoon, Lawyer Rankin.
Lawyer Rankin.
Good afternoon.
Oh my goodness, how are you doing?
Oh, wonderful. I can see.
Thanks.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just start. Mr. Rankin, you were stating about so much more we can discuss and talk about and so forth. Don't keep back nothing. Just let it out.
No, I will.
Because we all need to know what to know, and sometimes you can learn from you, sometimes you cannot learn from you. Mm-hmm. But some things that you may say that you may not heard before, and you'll be surprised at how much of a big inspiration you would be. So, right. I just was we talked about the gratuities at these restaurants and so forth.
Right.
You remember?
Uh-huh.
Okay. As far as I can remember, I think that there's not a law for you correct me please, for the gratuity, and I think you said something in regards that there should be a sign in the restaurant stating, gratuities is added to your bill or whatever the case may be. You remember that conversation? No?
As you're sharing something, right? One other listener, because strangely enough, you referenced the gratuities, right?
Mm-hmm.
Another listener is asking about the same thing, right? So let me try to pay attention.
I think when you talk about it some time ago that it was not officially in the law, or it's not the law, it's being done by each individual restaurant, and something was said in regards that there should be a sign up in each restaurant stating that gratuities are added to your bill.
Mm-hmm.
Some places are 15%, and fires up in North Side like 18% gratuity on your food bill. And I really think that's ridiculous. Especially, we're not going to line up around here, so I guess this is nothing new to us. But you should be able to leave your tips according to your service on the table. And I know they're trying to do this gratuity to make sure everybody in the restaurant gets a piece of the pie. The cooking, the dishwashing, and so forth. But if they were paying their staff a decent salary, they would have to depend on gratuity and tip to pay their bills, because that's $4.50 an hour. That's cold. That is very cold, and that is what happened here in Cayman. In a restaurant working for $4.50 an hour. You know how many hours they got to put into the week and for the month to make a couple of $100 on this island that we can barely breathe on financially?
See,
I think it needs to be looked into.
Yeah. Okay, so someone is saying that you don't have to pay a gratuity if it's on your bill. You can refuse to pay it. You can pay less. You can pay more. You can pay in addition. If you pay more, I have to quickly paraphrasing. They give an example. So if your gratuity is say $100, and you leave at $200, then the extra money over and above what is on your bill as gratuity becomes considered a tip, and that is shared differently, and that can be for that individual to do. Another person says, if I word this, sorry, I tell people, I don't do the best with reading text speak, so I gather this person saying that if the gratuity is on the bill, you can refuse it, which repeats what the other person said. But the company or the restaurant cannot charge a gratuity unless it's approved to do so.
Well, I agree, and some of my visitors would ask me, why we just can't pay according to our service, why we have to pay the security, and I say you don't have to. You can have them to remove it, and you can give your waiter or waitress whatever you please to give the individual. But we need to really and truly stop using that as part of these workers' salary. Sometimes these guys didn't even get part of that gratuity to make up their salary. And it's not fair to the individual to be working in Cayman. Expenses would be on. They come from another country trying to survive. And that's why we got so much things happening, all of the stealing and whatever you want to call it, break-ins, and you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know how. I'll leave you with that and see if somebody can try to shine some light around. Just government here can do something about it, because something needs to be done.
Okay.
Turn up in the outside. Excuse me.
Yeah, man. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. I'll try to read this over and share it, but thank you for listening, okay? All right. Cool. All right. And, well, before I ask Mario to respond, let's take this other caller, and then I'll give you a chance. Hey, welcome. Thanks for listening to us. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sterling Dwayne.
Can I say James Albert Christian, how are you, man?
I am fine, sir. How are you?
Man, listen, I am absolutely wonderful and aspiring to be gracious and grateful always.
Man, I'm watching your arm and I'm praying over your arm every time I see it. So, good afternoon there tomorrow.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And I'll say to you and others, if you see me sometimes, now I don't know if the word is, but I say wince. It's foolishly I forget I need to move it in stages, and sometimes I'll move it to write it to grab the phone. And boy, but thank you.
That under new trend for the dress code though.
Boy, I almost want to make a joke, but I'm not gonna do that because.
Matching the shirt every time, so.
Well, you see, you're making me want to make a joke, but no, man. No, I'll say this again to people. My friends say, don't say that about yourself, but I was absolutely foolish for ignoring this thing for years. And I learned how to cope with it. I learned how to, make little adjustments to your lifestyle. And
there you go.
Yeah, the other day, one of my brothers gave me a nice piece of wahoo. I had a taste for it. And all I had to do, I could have cooked it. It was so small because we went in so many shares. I could have took that whole little piece and put it in the frying pan, but I decided I wanted to cut it up. And boy.
What people say, you must always put aside something for tomorrow,
But that was the plan, right? But it was, I said, let me just cut it, boy. And that, sharp as that knife was, unless that was a self-cutting knife, that small little movement. And my brothers always give it to me where, I don't need to do nothing to it besides just cook it. Sometimes it's so fresh I don't need to do that. Squeeze a little lime on it. But even that small little motion was hurting, right? So anyway, thank you for your prayers, man. I receive them,
Yeah, man. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Take good care of yourself. But
yeah, man.
I was listening to Mario, and I can't agree more than what he said. 2 points he touched on. Or one thing I want to touch on was when he spoke about this Caymankind.
Mm-hmm.
We here in the Cayman Islands, there's no such thing as Caymankind. Because the Caymanians are kind to the foreigners and not kind to their own. So there's no such thing as Caymankind. They need to stop that. I don't know who came up with that phrase, but that used to be Caymanians, and that's when Caymanians worried about Caymanians. Now Caymanians worry about foreigners. And when I would just come back from Cayman again last week, and I mean, I honestly, as a man, it takes, sometimes it takes a lot to bring a tear from a man eye. But to see a poor man sitting on the side, right by a Burger King, I think it was, and begging every vehicle that pull up for something to eat. Man, that ripped me, and that ripped me to the bone to see a Caymanian. And I know the guy, but I can't remember his name because years ago when I used to work Cayman there on the tenders for the cruise ship, I knew him from out town, walking around out town out there, because I used to hang out there by a little Beeson Square all the time, and I used to see him all the time. And that man walking the street and begging, I mean, he looked pitiful, begging people, and to know that we have what we call our representatives, these so-called, like what our old man has said from Kim and Brock, as far as concerned, we not got none of them talking about, they weren't about Caymanians. I'm worrying about no Caymanians, Sterling. I got speak it how it is, and it doesn't matter who like me, for what I say, or who dislike me for anything that I got walk on regarding strengthening the people of these 3 islands. I got speak it because it's sad to know that we have people that overlooking these kind of things. They should have had a establishment set up in West Bay, in East End, in town, wherever, Borden Town, wherever, that you find these people that they're searching for something to eat. They should have an establishment set up that these people can go there and have a meal to put in their stomach. Even if they're not going to wait to sleep, they will have something to eat. We can't have people walking around, just sitting there begging, and it looks so. I mean, when I listen to the news in Miami, the government there came up with an idea. as bad as they claim the governor is there, Dwayne DeSantis is.
Yeah.
He came up with a good idea to have funds where the poor people, the hungry people, the starving people can have somewhere to go and eat. They meet at a Saturday house, somewhere to eat. What is wrong with our people in Grand Cayman?
Yeah, man.
I mean, Sterling, here on the block, I don't know what's going on, but these last couple of weeks that I've been coming Cayman, I mean, I am stunned.
Mm-hmm.
I am so almost speechless to see the stupidity of where these leaders that we call leaders are leading the Cayman people in the foreigners. They look like they're living on diamonds and gold.
Yeah. I want to respectfully ask you, we got to break the news, right? You can call back, you can hold on, you can end as long as you feel that you can do what you want. What was your preference?
You know what? I gotta go take my daughter back to work, so I'll call. I'll give somebody a couple of minutes, and then I'll come back.
Yeah, man. You gotta come down to the studio, man. Thanks very much, right?
Yeah, just take my call before Mario leaves, though.
We'll take it, man. Thank you. All right. I'll go to the break and leading or misleading, all right? Active or proactive, concerned and committed. Lots of things we can ask, but I know Mario going to encourage the conversation, so stay tuned for Talk Today.
This spring, say hello to Los Angeles. Explore foodie havens, local markets, art exhibitions, cultural shows, theater, you name it. Getting to LA is easy with 2 non-stop flights weekly aboard Cayman Airways. Midweek airfares are now on sale from just $410 CI round trip. Some conditions apply. Check out our socials for more inspiration and visit CaymanAirways.com to book. Sale ends February 14th. Now is the time to see LA your way.
You asked, and we listened. The Water Authority's new customer portal is here. The new and improved platform lets you manage your account easily and more independently from a user-friendly design. With the new customer portal, you can view and pay your bill online, schedule bill payments, make payments on multiple accounts at one time, manage tenant and landlord accounts, view your consumption history, make service requests, and so much more. The service is also available to tenant accounts. Visit www.waterauthority.ky to sign up today.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
This Valentine's, Digicel has something special. Join our shared postpaid plan for unlimited data and minutes for both of you. Plus, get 25% off for 6 months. Activate a 5-day Prime bundle for 2 SIMs at $14.99. Enjoy free calling between both and 25% off for 6 months. Make this Valentine's memorable with Digicel Cayman. Visit us today for unlimited connections. Digicel, connecting hearts this Valentine's.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you want to go scuba diving on your vacation, don't bedazzle your wetsuit. And you think you look great, but what you don't realize is that you look like a shiny, scaly fish. And it won't take long for a shark to notice you. Next thing you know, you're busting out every karate move you got. But if you're smart, you'll have CG medical insurance and get airlifted out to the closest hospital.
Get coverage for emergency evacuations. CG Britke. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Covering Little Cayman, Cayman Bride.
Cover me.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
Government releases the updated aerial photography layer for the Cayman Islands for 2023. The imagery serves as a tool for use in development planning, environmental monitoring, coastline changes, boundary dispute resolution, court cases, and accident reconstruction. The last update of the scale was back in 2018. Chilean ex-president Sebastián Piñera, who served 2 terms and was also a billionaire businessman, has died in a helicopter crash at the age of 74. 3 other people aboard the aircraft survived when it came down in a lake near the southern town of Lago Ranco. Piñera had flown his own helicopter, but there was no official confirmation he had been the pilot during the crash. National mourning has been declared and tributes have been paid from across Latin America's political divide. And a door that blew away from a Boeing 737 MAX shortly after takeoff may not have been properly secured, according to a new report. The U.S. National Transportation Safety Board has released initial findings from its probe into the incident on an Alaska Airlines plane in January. It says 4 key bolts that were meant to lock the unused door to the fuselage appeared to have been missing. Replying to the report, Boeing said it was accountable for what happened. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
The Health Services Authority has over 120 world-class physicians offering the most comprehensive range of specialist services on island. Our dedicated team of professionals provide the highest quality care in orthopedics, interventional radiology, women's health, geriatrics, and a host of other specialist areas. We are a JCI-accredited organization with a proven record of excellence. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you. For more information, visit hsa.ky.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands. Captain Keith Parker Tibbetts, MBE, JP. Captain Keith Parker Tibbetts was born at Cotton Tree Bay in Cayman on 15th October 1916 to James Nathaniel Tibbetts and Elsie Huldah Tibbetts nee Hunter. In 1931, the family moved to Belize, then known as British Honduras, where young Keith worked on boats on the dry dock. However, the family returned to Cayman after 6 months, and that is when he began to build catboats. During the 1932 hurricane, at the age of 16, being a strong swimmer, he was able to save many people. However, his baby brother, only sister, and grandmother unfortunately perished. A week after the island-wide disaster, his uncle Dwight came to the island on his own ship with some relief supplies and brought his brother Ronnie. After assisting with the rebuilding of the family home, resurrecting the family car, and helping other relatives and the community rebuild, he built and sold several catboats before going to Jamaica to seek employment as a seaman. This was part 2 of a special Sister Islands vignette series dedicated to Captain Keith Parker Tibbetts.
I'll be back. I've got 22 more days.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Say hello to Los Angeles. Explore foodie havens, local markets, art exhibitions, cultural shows, theater, you name it. Getting to LA is easy with 2 non-stop flights weekly aboard Cayman Airways. Midweek airfares are now on sale from just $410 CI round trip to LA. Some conditions apply. Check out our socials for more inspiration and visit CaymanAirways.com to book. Sale ends February 14th. Now is the time to see LA your way.
It's Open Line on Talk Today. Call 1-800-534-8255. 949-8037. 949-6990. Or 925-3261. Call now.
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us, and thanks to Mario D. Rankin for being our guest. My good friend, we got a couple of calls. I see your presence inspire, good dialogue. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon again, Mr. Shirley.
Welcome back again, man. Welcome back again.
Boy, I tell you, we were talking about, it's all about, no, not the Benjamins.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the CI dollar.
I tell you, like Billy Joel, it's all about soul. I should get Mr. Akal to put that in the background and say, make you listen. Go listen to Billy Joel's song. It's all about soul.
But you know something, I never voted my life in it.
Oh, I mean, you got an issue now, man.
No, I never voted in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's another case now about the money now.
Mm.
It's about the CI dollar, but I don't like to say too much. I want to see what happening first.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you hear a Caymanian say, right? When you hear a Caymanian say, boy, he's dirty. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When you be dirty,
Mm-hmm.
somebody don't want to give you your money. Don't want to give you your money, and well, that's when it's time to be dirty. And not just some people say dirty.
Mm.
And when they say dirty, now you know that anything will come out that person's mouth.
Mm.
No, and don't mix politics with that. So I never voted in my life, but I respect a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
I have love for a lot of them, right?
Right.
But no, I believe in being paid.
Yeah, man. That's understandable.
Something else about money now.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned something else about money now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you see a man waiting for 26 years to be paid fairly, I don't want to know more than that.
Yeah,
but no, don't make it be 27 years like with Mandela in prison, 27 years like what we're talking to this man about.
Yeah, but listen, right? Remember, no, patience is a virtue, right? They say.
I know.
They say if you pay for patience, you get, adversity. But with Mr. Mandela, here's a man that was persistent, a man who had a resolve, and a man who had a purpose. And what if he, despite what that confinement may have done for him and the price he paid, but look at now the purpose and how we can look to his sacrifice, his ordeal, and give us hope. So it was something that was unconscionable and inhumane, but now we are inspired by a man who demonstrated a great resolve. So like that patience, that experience, you too, myself included, we can borrow from his page and try to, as you shared, forgive and appreciate.
Sterling, you know what happened? I'm gonna tell you what happened, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you what happened.
Yes, sir.
No, I look at the Honorable Mario D. Ebanks as
Mario D. Rankin, man. Yeah. I know he would like to be Ebanks, but honorary Ebanks.
Hero to you. He's another Caymanian hero along with Mr. Christian to you.
There you go.
No, anyway.
Yes, sir.
No, well, you also include Mr. Ebanks.
Yes.
But anyway, no, in regards to this CI dollar, Mr. Sterling, the thing that is happening in Cayman is you see a lot of people back and they is slapping the ice cream right out the retarded man hand.
Yeah, but let's do it.
Out his hand, and then he don't have any more money, so he got to go in back.
Yeah,
now, we know who doing it.
Right.
Now, I'm not really in any campaign mode because I never campaigned in my life.
Okay.
But
so,
now when you're campaigning for the retarded man now, now you definitely get in office.
All right.
Now you know that.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to ask you, leave me there. And because of what you just shared, right, it just shows that you are a man of great compassion and empathy, and you're speaking without missing a beat. It shows you that you have within you that desire to seek excellence, right? So let's circle back in a bit and look out for my call after, but also from the other, right? So thanks very much, Mr. Brown. You know, I could talk to him all day, but there's a call online, Mr. Rankin. We should be equally respectful. Hey, welcome. Thank you for your patience. Thanks for calling.
Thank you, Sterling, for taking my call.
You're most welcome.
And hello to Mr. Rankin.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. I am calling about the Spot Cemetery. I spoke about it early last year.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm not sure what is happening, but I am appealing again. I don't know. I was told that it was a private cemetery, which I'm not too sure about that.
Mm-hmm.
But I am appealing for whoever is in charge to please put an entrance from the parking lot on that cemetery, because I'm afraid someone is going to get hurt. That road is like I-95, and I'm only hoping and praying that anyone that sees how fast these cars pass, I mean, people are going there, walking between the fence and the little pathway to get to their one's graves. I'm hoping to put a bouquet or something on it, or to clean it up. I am hoping that someone will have a little respect and a little dignity and a little feeling toward the people that have to go there to put flowers on their loved ones, or to clean up or paint the graves. I am appealing for someone to please put an entrance from the parking lot. I don't know how much it will cost, but I am asking for someone, please. We don't want anyone to get hurt. We don't want to see any more that Caymanians are moving too fast now, but we would like to see a gate from the entrance of the parking lot there.
Yes,
I know it can be done. I'm not sure what is keeping them back, but I'm just asking for who is in charge of it. Please take my advice and other people's advice. Please put a gate from the parking lot to the cemetery. That's all I'm asking for. And I don't know who's responsible, but I suppose whoever it is, they know themselves who's responsible. So all I am asking for, I came on from last year.
You did?
Nothing was doing that, and I would like something to be done this year.
Right.
And I'm hoping and praying that they will listen or hear. I mean, I am a Caymanian, and I know they don't like to listen to Caymanians, but I'm just appealing for all the people that have loved ones dead and buried there to please put a gate.
Right.
Thank you for listening. Have a good one.
And thank you too for calling. And I would have shared, I guess, with you and with the public, and then if the caller was still on. She did call a couple of times last year. She shared that she did, as we understand it, make sure I repeated to you that I didn't miss any. She said, listen, just put an opening the gate from the parking lot into it. And Mr. Sims did respond. We reached out to him. He did respond. I can't recall exactly what he shared, so I don't want to repeat it publicly, whether it's public or private, whichever, right? But he did respond immediately. Now, what is causing the delay? We'll see,
Well, I 100% agree with her, because when they first initially did the parking lot, and thanks to Wayne for Wayne Pannon, I know he had secured the property and got it, because we had desperately needed an additional parking lot, other than that, just one little stretch to get to the beach. And when they got the property, fenced it and whatnot, and had access to the beach, I always wondered why they didn't have an entrance out of the parking lot to the main, as opposed to everybody going into the cemetery side to get in. Now, I have a grand aunt that's buried in that cemetery from 1985, so I understand where she's coming from, and I know for sure that it can be done very easily. Now, why it's not done and why it hasn't been put on the priority list, I have no idea. But I can tell her this, is that I will be making a few phone calls, because I know which ministry responsible for parks and all these things, and I gonna make some calls. Now, if we can can we get anything done? I don't know, but I'll definitely bring the awareness. And while we're on that note, there is a red CRV that is in that parking lot with a person on a work permit living in that car on that beach for months on end.
Yeah. Hey, can we ask?
And now Smith back there and all these places, this got to stop.
Can I ask through you, right? And partly because as I listen to all of our conversations, public and otherwise, I sense from you a genuine love and concern for people, no matter who they are, how long they've been here. When you speak to something, it's not with any vitriol, no malice or whatever. It's to address the issue, to identify it and say here. So if increasingly, Mr. Brown called earlier and he referenced, people, on the streets, begging and the like that the caller prior to she shared. If in our community we're seeing these things happening, that collectiveness in terms of the brother's keeper, if we have people here, for whatever reason, let's say they're on work permit, let's go on that premise, and they're living in a space, their cars, they're camping on the beach, whatever the issue, they're living in substandard housing. For whatever reason, maybe they're not making enough money, maybe they want to save every penny they make, whatever the reason is, right?
They bought a car.
The analysis can go quickly and deep, right? But why are we turning a blind eye? Why isn't there some investigation to help? Not necessarily.
Well, okay, fresh on that point.
Yeah.
I would like to say this in regards to that. This goes back to immigration reform.
Okay.
Labor reform. So, hypothetically, because we certainly don't want to label anybody or
it's just
single out anyone.
Yeah.
Let's just say hypothetically, individuals in the development construction industry, people are in the lawn and gardening and industries that provide employment for individuals that are in the laboring department, right?
Right.
Why is it that as a part of the grant of a work permit, now this is a suggestion, and I'm saying that somebody intentionally botched the system why we're seeing all of these ills and spills from it. I'm just simply saying, I think we have accommodated work permits long enough to understand that we need to do a better job in how we require labor and how we implement labor. And the reason why I say that is this. If a construction company hypothetically need 200 employees because the harvest of Cayman is not enough to fill those jobs, they need that to get the job done. Now, those companies need to be responsible for accommodations for their workers as a part of a requirement to get your permit granted. Right? And transportation to and from, so that everybody don't have a car and a license to clog up the road. Now, the other argument of that is going to be, the gas station's not going to make enough money because you don't have enough drivers, the tire shops and the mechanics and whatnot, right? Yes, it will have an economic impact. But how do you weigh the cost of the infrastructural and social stream that we are getting in return for the financial benefits and revenues that are coming from? And yes, when we see people living on the beach in a car that works on a construction site, we have to ask the question, why is it not part of the requirement when you submit an application that when you register where this person is living? Because listen, when you come to Cayman through immigration, I can tell you I worked with immigration. There are 3 standard questions: how much money you got, who you staying with, and who your sponsor is.
Yeah.
Those are 3 things that you had to verify before you considered giving somebody the right to come here. So I'm trying to figure out how we didn't integrate that into the work permit grant system by simply saying, okay, you have to show proof of residence, where you're going to be living. Right? Just in case immigration need to find you for whatever reason. And 2, it need to be updated quarterly.
Okay.
If they're on a long-term work permit. So we need to do a better job on managing our institutions that can avoid these sort of situations from evolving and manifesting within our society. Right. People are living in their cars on work permits in our beach areas, bathed in our public bathrooms, using up all the resources, and we got to foot the bill.
Okay, so enforcement is an issue, but as we take this call, as you shared that, I understand from people who rent properties, from time to time, they have to sign somewhere in a form to confirm that this person is living and renting in this address. I don't know if that's still a requirement and the like. But enforcement...
loopholes, favors of a person who lives with a person who signs an agreement just to say they live there, just so they can get the approval. These are the sort of things that we need now. I'm not telling you that it's going to be 100% perfect system. They won't be.
Right.
But I can tell you this, we can do our very best on mitigating these issues by putting the proper laws and enforcement in place to ensure that it takes place. So, or that we can minimize it at the very least.
Okay. I want to maybe get a call, but it's not there, but we have a voice note I'm told that we can play.
Sure.
As you can see, the extent of I can listen to it as you listen to it. So let's go and hear it. My good friend across the table, let's hear the WhatsApp voice note.
Afternoon, Mr. Dwayne, and to you, Mr. Mario. I hope I have the right connection. Anyway, I can connect to Mr. OC in the morning with this. I hope I'm connecting to you now, Mr. Dwayne, with this. This is Donna Bryan. I was just listening to the caller from the BRAC. I will not call name, but I just called my name, so. Concerning this particular guy walking around in Georgetown begging people for food. Mr. Dwayne?
Did you listen to
let me say it this way. I am a person that I am round in all the little corners in Georgetown, Central. Georgetown, all the time. I'm a Christian now for about 14 years, and I'm still around in all the little corners in Georgetown. I know who's on hard drugs. I know who's just smoking ganja and drinking liquor. I know who out there begging because, listen to me, Mr. Dwayne, when they ask you to give them $5 buy a plate of food, try this little thing and say, okay, sweetie, come, let me take you into Kentucky and buy you some food. Listen to me, all of a sudden that individual don't eat Kentucky. Sir, I don't like the Kentucky, you know, so you give me the $5 and I gonna go up one little restaurant right up there, you see? And then say, okay, just drop in my car and I'll take you and buy you the food. All of a sudden he don't eat Subway either. He wants the $5 to go and buy the food where he want to go. He's not buying no food with it. They're begging money for drugs. And if the caller don't know what he's talking about, he need to come down here, take a little trip now, carry him around the corners, carry him around the people, and let him get the little experience of it. We have people on hard drugs here in Georgetown. Now listen to me, I speaking about where I know, you know. I ain't making no second guess about West Bay, East and Boston, down north side. I speaking about Georgetown. And don't you think for 1 second that they're homeless, you know. The majority of them are sleeping on the streets by choice. Majority of them have a place to go. But it's the lifestyle. The lifestyle that they're living is what causing them to be on the street day and night. They up all night, and when morning come, they haul in their little shell, and by midday, when they're getting hungry now, they haul out to look some little thing. They're going to look some little thing then to eat, and then the rest of the bagging is the bagging for the drugs now to start all over again. I know what I'm speaking of. There are times that I go down the corner with my little money and ask the lady, miss, you just stretch this little $50 for me that I can get enough little small plates of food and carry in certain places and give them to eat, because I don't know how they're going to get anything to eat, because if they get their hand on $1, 50 cents, or $5, whatever, it's buying the drugs. So, and I'm not going to hold this up. I could have a whole doggone day at the stories, because I am out there on the streets. I am out there.
You know, say who, you know, what's it, feels it, knows it, right? Before we take the other call, Mr. Rankin, any comments you wish to share? Okay, the call is there. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
It's not there. Yeah, we dropped it.
Okay,
yeah.
well, what I would like to say is that, and there's nothing to take away from what she said. I'll leave a comment on that at the end, but what I will say is this, that there are genuinely struggling, starving people in our island that are not on drugs, who depend on the welfare system called NAU, which is overloaded and overwhelmed. And sometimes it doesn't go out in the time, it doesn't happen in the time in which people need it the most. So therefore they have to do other things like asking people, showing up at your house, messaging you, texting you. I can tell you this personally because I help several people who have jobs who genuinely struggle, and I don't want them to be cast into a certain box because I don't want nobody to be discouraged from helping them in any way because they genuinely need the help. And to her point, I agree with her that there are some people that do that, but my question is this, is that she said that she is in the streets. She know that they use drugs. She takes food for them. So maybe you should tell us if you know. I don't know, because if you know all of that, you must have some idea who the drug dealers are, because I think that's where we need to fix the problem. You know?
Don't punish
I can tell you, I'll be 50 years old in July. I've been living in Cayman long enough. I know where all the hot spots are, and if I know where they are, so does the police. So why not being done about it?
Yeah, that's a question that's been asked and seldom
Plain and
answered.
simple.
All right. Maybe we'll revisit that. Let's pause and take a break. We've got a WhatsApp to talk about immigration enforcement, but let's take that after. Please stay tuned.
Grand Cayman's biggest one-day family fun day is back. The 55th Cayman Islands Agricultural Society Agriculture Show at the Stacey Wackler Agricultural Pavilion in Lower Valley. Ash Wednesday, February 14th. Cooking competition, pony rides, petting zoo, beautiful baby show, Miss Agriculture Queen and Princess competition, lots of local musical entertainment, Roscoe the Mechanical Bull, and so much more. Gates open at 7 a.m. with ample parking. General admission is only $10. Children ages 2 through 11, $5, and under 2 are free. For more information, visit them on Facebook or Instagram at Cayman Agriculture. The 55th Agriculture Show in Lower Valley, Ash Wednesday, February 14th.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone, and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
This spring, say hello to Los Angeles. Explore foodie havens, local markets, art exhibitions, cultural shows, theater, you name it. Getting to LA is easy with 2 non-stop flights weekly aboard Cayman Airways. Midweek airfares are now on sale from just $410 CI round trip. Some conditions apply. Check out our socials for more inspiration and visit CaymanAirways.com to book. Sale ends February 14th. Now is the time to see LA your way.
Love is in the air, and this Valentine's Day, why not gift something truly extraordinary? Presenting the Institute for Essential Care's exclusive pre-Valentine's seminars, a journey into the depths of the male and female minds, the gift of understanding. Are you ready to explore the intricate world of your loved one's thoughts, emotions, and behaviors? Join us for Seminar 1, Let's Make Woman, on February 11th at 6:30 p.m. Delve into the beautiful yet complex world of the feminine mind, understanding her thoughts, decision-making processes, sexuality, emotions, and feelings. But wait, there's more. Seminar 2, Let's Make Man, kicks off on Monday, February 12th at 6:30 p.m. Uncover the secrets of the masculine mind, including sexuality, problem-solving, reasoning, thoughts, emotions, and behavior. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to strengthen your connection and celebrate love in a whole new way. Register now at www.caymanessentialcare.com for those insightful seminars. And here's the cherry on the top. Snag the early bird discount fare before February 9th. That's www.caymanessentialcare.com. See you at the Institute for Essential Care's exclusive pre-Valentine's seminars, because this Valentine's Day, give the gift of understanding. It's the perfect present for the one you love.
The 2024 Cayman Arts Festival is here, celebrating 20 years of world-class performing arts in the Cayman Islands. From February 18th through March 1st, featuring 8 unique performances, a mix of Cayman and international renowned musicians. View the full lineup of events or get your tickets at www.caymanartsfestival.com. For more information, call 922-5550 or email inquiries@caymanartsfestival.com. The 2024 Cayman Arts Festival, February 18th through March 1st.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for calling in. Thanks for sharing. Before we go to the phones, again, a special thanks to all our guests, and today, Mario Dwayne. I say this often. I hope you don't get a bad rap for sitting next to me, all right? So you on your own. You're a big boy, right? Yeah. Let's take this call, okay? Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good afternoon, Sterling. Back again.
Good, man. I pray you got where you're going safely, all right?
Yeah, man. Good.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah. I just had to give a handshake to Mario over the sea. For regarding the caller that called about the so much drug people, she acknowledged and she know. My father had a saying, Sterling, listen, and I always try to tell you sayings that my father used to tell me.
And thank you for sharing that, man.
Yeah, fish don't get hooked unless you open your mouth,
Mm-hmm. Well, I got to tell you what my brother used to say. Mouth will say anything, and even more when you learn to talk.
But mouth will say anything, but action prove otherwise.
There you go.
All right.
Uh-huh.
We understand, and she misunderstood what I was saying. We understand that some people, just like what Mario said.
Okay.
Yes, we understand that there are people out there that will take money from you and go and buy drugs. That was not what I was saying. The implementation that I was trying to get at was that to put a piece of food in his hand is what he was asking for. The man didn't ask for nobody to give him money. What I was saying was, these so-called, and I will say it again, whether she like it or anybody else don't like it, that's too bad. These so-called leaders in our 3 islands, that represent our 3 islands, they are not, I said they should implement some type of establishment that can feed people that are hungry. That's all I am saying. I'm not saying that people must harbor the habits of drug people. I'm not saying that. So some people, and like what Mario understood, and that's why he answered that way, and I thank him for answering that way. We know the drug ones.
Yeah.
But if her and no one else know the drug ones, why the drug ones still there and they're not being reported? Or for instance. So it's a, you speak and try to make good in this country to help people.
Yeah.
And just some people will sit there and just listen and try to be idle and come on the radio and try to downbeat what you're saying. You're trying to help the people of the Cayman Islands. That's why we don't get no way.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead, Mario.
No, I want to share something with JC before you hang up. A large part of the problem is because we have this huge cliche about our pride, right? And I always said this, we look around our society, we look at our economy, we look at our labor force, we look at the persons who are enjoying the Caymanian dream, right? And if we have facilitated by laws and legislation for a person to come from anywhere in the world, fixate themselves in an institution that gives them the ability to generate their own personal wealth, that they can enjoy housing, food, transportation, travel. And we have, and I can tell you, and you know this better than most people, we only have a handful of people
you go.
who are struggling in our island of great success for everybody else. And to your point, why is it so hard to conceive that we should have a landing strip for persons who have fallen between the cracks and have come on hard times that could go somewhere and assured that there's a plate of food there for them? There's nothing wrong with that. I don't support soup kitchens and these kind of things, but what I do support is our government identifying the need for a institution to accommodate and facilitate for persons who standing by a drive-through window asking somebody to buy them a cheeseburger or a box of fries and a soda. Now, at that same Burger King, I watch a man go into the dumpster and got a cup, a Burger King cup, because they give free refills.
Wow.
And I watched him dive in the dumpster, got the cup, rinsed it out, and went inside and got a soda. So that didn't say to me that he was looking money to buy drugs.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, she is right on one half of saying that we do have people who solicit funds to buy drugs, but in the spirit of wanting food, that is real. But that's not everyone, and that's not the majority. Listen, Cayman have a social breakdown with our people, and we have done nothing to address it.
That's right. I mean, if people like her or other ones will take the time and go to the United States, I saw a line of people up there one time. I didn't know exactly what a line of people was, but it was a line that it looked like they were getting ready to go in a stadium. That's how big the line was. You know what that line of people were doing? They were homeless people, hungry people that were lying up. Hundreds and hundreds of little children.
I've seen it.
Middle age and old age. Male and female, all alike. Standing up waiting to get something to eat. That is what they're doing for the people there. All I am saying is, why these so-called leaders can't do the same for the people of Grand Cayman? Because Cayman Brock, we got soon end up with the problem here. We got soon end up with the same problem. Because when one disease go one direction, it tends to circulate. And if our people don't stop crowing down and tearing down one another, and when they hear somebody try to say something that makes sense, try to support that, that is why we can't get nowhere today.
Well, I know a few weeks ago, well, I would say about 2 months ago, at the same Burger King, at the same parking lot next door, I drove in there, and there was a young man sleeping on the iron shore.
Good Jesus.
Sleeping on the iron shore with his bag and the little thing that all his belongings were in one little bag, and he was using the bag for a pillow.
That shouldn't be Cayman.
And I can tell you, I saw that, and I even took pictures because I wanted to reach out to the person and try to extend some sort of help. But when I went back the next night, I never saw him there again.
Yeah.
And I have 3 WhatsApp messages. One sends a picture, not to identify the person, but to indicate that this is a public park. Tells me where it is. And here's another example of a person living in a car. Now, according to the message, spoke to the person. The person is by choice in this instance because of family and financial issues. Park is somewhat accessible, somewhat safe, and sleep there. That's us. That's a social issue.
Yes.
It's compounded, gents, by what you're sharing. If we have people on a work permit, for whatever the reasons, today is 5, tomorrow or next year maybe 50 or 500 or 5% of the population. Am I idealistic in asking, or no, let me rephrase that. Am I idealistic in saying that is unacceptable in Cayman?
Well, read the Constitution, Sterling. The Constitution protects them.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
So we got to have constitution reform. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And gentlemen, if on a tech, for instance, you look, United States were trying to do, well, I wouldn't say try to do the same thing the Cayman Islands do, because they don't follow nothing we do. Follows what the rest of the world do. But this same housing situation, United States tried it in building these big, large homes to get people to purchase the homes. The people still couldn't purchase the homes. Why it is that Cayman The government has to get these $200,000 homes for the people to get to live in when they're not making the salaries in order to pay back for that home. Why it is that they can't build a little 14 by 16 home, just enough for people to go live. They only want somewhere to put their head under, that they can afford, that they can call themselves, for something for themselves. That is what the government needs to do, and stop wasting money building $100,000 house and expect Caymanians that making nothing to go and buy these homes. I mean, why I say I expect to do, but not find people out there begging and sleeping all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad. It's sad, and it should not be. In a country like Grand Cayman, it should not be, because we are supposed to be there supporting one another and not looking on the dark or in other these rich companies that coming in overtaking Cayman Brac, in Little Cayman, in Grand Cayman.
Well, caller, correct. And what I will extend saying that and kind of a different perspective in a way, in sense of the size of the home and the kind of homes. Here's what we need to do, or here's what I think we need to do. This is my opinion, clearly, because we do not have a large harvest of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are the minority in our islands. That's a fact, right?
True.
The ESO website will show you that on every single category of numbers, right? So if that's the case, we have two pillars of our industry. We have the financial service industry, we got the tourism industry. There's a lot of things that we can do in tourism to ensure the participation of Caymanian ownership and the benefits that we get from the tourism. Then you have the financial service industry that generates a large part of the middle class wealth in our country. Financial service industry is responsible for 60% of the middle class, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how can we sit down and accept the fact that there are some people who are not only ambitious, capable, and willing to work? Now, you do have people in Cayman that is unemployable and don't want to work and just want to ride the system. That's a fact, right?
Yeah.
But I can assure you that it's not in the thousands and thousands of people.
Exactly.
It may be a few hundred, or if even a few hundred, right?
Yeah.
So we accept that as a default cost, right? But listen to me. What I'm saying is this. Is that in the absence of comprehensive training programs and skilling our people to take the necessary posts, along with legislation that ensures their participation once they get to that skill level, where it be a bachelor's degree or where it be a skill on island training, whatever the case is, the problem is that we do not have any legislation that ensures the participation of the Caymanian harvest as a priority. What we've done is we've thrown Caymanians into the same melting pot of everybody competing for the same job. And then we allow the financial institution to tailor-make job for international experience that gates out and marginalize the Caymanians from participating on that level. So
there you go.
So I don't entirely subscribe to building a small house to give a person or building a medium house to give a person. I subscribe to ensuring that the capable, willing harvest of people that we have are afforded the opportunities and the ability to go out and work in these institutions, because we have legislation that ensures their participation so that they can generate their own wealth, build their own homes, and take care of their own responsibilities. And those who can't do it, like the ones who fall between the cracks and the ones that just don't want to work, we have a proper social welfare in place that takes care of those people, that they don't need to be at a drive-through window begging for food, and they don't need to be sleeping on the iron shore, not because they're lazy, but because we have structured our system in a way that we can take care of our people regardless of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Simple.
Yeah,
because it's not a lot of us.
Yeah.
That's true. And to top it off, minimum wage. That minimum wage should not be implemented to the Caymanian. It should not be, because Caymanians can't survive on $6 an hour. That should not been implemented for the Caymanians to work under no minimum wage.
Mm-hmm.
That is out of this world preposterous. That should not been into the system.
All right. remind you we do have that scheduled break, right? And sometimes it's good to interject it and interrupt our conversation, but
no, man, you gotta go ahead. I can talk to her again.
Yeah, man.
Time.
Always appreciate not only the fact that you're listening, but that you share. All right, thanks again. Have a good afternoon.
Yeah, you too.
All right, let's pause. We'll come back. Mario, maybe you should host a show and I go fishing. All right, stay tuned for Talk Today.
This spring, say hello to Los Angeles. Explore foodie havens, local markets, art exhibitions, cultural shows, theater, you name it. Getting to LA is easy with 2 non-stop flights weekly aboard Cayman Airways. Midweek airfares are now on sale from just $410 CI round trip. Some conditions apply. Check out our socials for more inspiration and visit CaymanAirways.com to book. Sale ends February 14th. Now is the time to see LA your way.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
You don't sound too good there, Bobo.
Yeah, you know how it is. With the kids back in school, every other week they coming out with something, and then I catch it.
Sound like it gets you, but for real, brother, flu season is here and COVID is still around. You gotta stock up on things like medicine, vitamins, and minerals for you and the kids. You know what they say, prevention is better than cure.
At ValueMed, our pharmacists can help manage flu symptoms and provide guidance on vitamins and minerals to best support you and your family's overall health. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown, or WhatsApp your questions and prescription refills to ValueMed on Walkers Road at 926-1662 or WhatsApp ValueMed in Boddentown at 916-5511. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Water Authority Cayman wishes to advise its customers and the motoring public of a planned service interruption on Rex Crichton Boulevard on Wednesday, 7th February to facilitate infrastructure upgrade works in the area. The main work is scheduled to begin at 9 a.m. on Wednesday, 7th February and will last until 4 p.m. on Thursday, February 8th. During this time, customers in the area will experience reduced water pressure. Additionally, access to the westbound lane along Rex Crichton Boulevard will be somewhat, but not entirely, restricted. Traffic control measures will be in place to manage traffic flow throughout the work. Traffic signs will be in place in the general vicinity of the works. All motorists are asked to drive with caution when in the area. The Water Authority appreciates the patience and understanding of its customers and the public as it upgrades its water infrastructure and apologizes for any inconvenience caused.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer. It's Open Line on Talk Today. Call 1-800-534-8255. 949-8037. 949-6990. Or 925-3261. Call now.
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for sharing with us. And in the studio with the good company of Mr. Mario D. Rankin. A few calls on the line. Let's enjoy and welcome these callers. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, afternoon, Mr. Sterling.
Hey, how are you today?
I'm good, and thankful. Afternoon, Mr. Mario as well.
Afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir. Hey, listening into the conversation, I just get in my little break, so I didn't really hear what the whole commotion was about the drug dealers, but I heard, I heard a little snippet about the homelessness part.
Okay.
Hey, look here, I got to share out something that I had experienced firsthand, and then something that reminded me of it just a couple of days ago. I was walking some dogs, and I came across a newspaper on the ground. Came on campus newspaper on the ground in the bushes, and it was if I was right, if I can remember right, it was in the January's newspaper. It was homeless prisoners, and it says that they are locked up and nowhere to go. So a lot of them, like we assume, are drug addicts, and some of them just have mental illnesses that are undesirable and for the workforce. And I was just thinking, when I was in prison, just for the little few months that I was in there, I've experienced some nasty things, especially with the individuals that they consider homeless. And you see, the prison's supposed to be a rehabilitation center, right?
Right.
And they treat it as if they were treating dogs, right? And not even taking care of them in a humane way, because you have some of them that willing to do something for something, and then you abuse them, and fearmonger end up starting with them. They tend to want to do favors like, yeah, you can beat me up if you can give me a cigarette type of thing. And I assume when they get out in public, some individuals like to continue treating them with that same type of behavior in the free world, where they tend to still be in this mental state where they feel like they have to bow down to certain people, which would make some of the ones that are not affected feel more superior than others, which I think is a cowardly act, because if you end up bullying homeless people, you're just as bad as them. I mean, this is just only off of what I experienced. I think that our island really do ignore homelessness, and it's close to prejudice, in my opinion. And I see a lot of homeless people on our island, and I wish I could do something about it, but I need to help myself first, right? And sometime if I do have any money, I would give them, because I know that they're looking for food. I know the ones that are not in a bad condition, but I do know the ones that need help. And some of them, they don't look for the help that they need, Yeah. And it's up to the civil servants out there to at least go and assist with what they can do, because, I mean, their service, right?
Yeah. You highlighted some good things. But before we take the next call, anything else you want to share?
Nah, I just wanted to point that out, because the homelessness starts from in the prison.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm told the other call dropped. So, but thank you for sharing.
Yes, sir.
All right. Mario, the public listening, hearing a lot of things, maybe for the first time. Maybe they're hearing it for the first time because they're listening. Maybe they're hearing it the first time because they were in a space and a place that they weren't attentive. But if we have homelessness, if we have people who are being abused, however that's defined, financial, emotional, physical, but if people who are being displaced in a society, whether they're in prison or otherwise within a sense of hope, you talk about the social safety net, talk about that social decay. We seem to be turning a blind eye to a lot of the social ills in our society.
Well, I think it's because it's not a lot of people.
His name is only that. Oh, okay.
You see, and it's not like he mentioned, or it was, I think it might have been the caller before him that mentioned that they went abroad and saw these lines of people lining up to get food and whatnot. But I think it's because our pride plays a very important role in all this, because you got a lot of people who struggling but got too much pride to ask for help.
Yeah.
So they're not part of the statistics.
Yeah.
Right? They maintain the aggravation of struggle because they put their pride before that, right? I've seen that in several cases until a person finally swallow their pride and come and ask for help.
It got to that point now where
and then you sign, and then your jaw hit the ground and be like, oh gee, I didn't know that you were struggling like this until that point. And it's very disheartening when that happens. I mean, it's disheartening in any event. However, when you see a person holding down 2 jobs and still struggling, it's a real struggle. So again, one of the reasons why I think we have done very little is because it's not it's not out there every single place you go. It's just those hot spots where we know, like he said, he know who on drugs from who not. He know who he should give the cash to as opposed to giving them a bag of food. He know that, and most Caymanians know that, because we know the characters and we know certain things and we know what signs to look for that indicate. And the real issue is that we haven't done anything to address the problem. We just acknowledge that there is a problem, and we seem to be okay with the periodic running into a person that needs a little help. One may be on drugs, one may genuinely need it, one may be drinking alcohol, whatever the case is. You know, we seem to have accepted that because it is not a overwhelming experience that we see every single day, right? Because we can go the whole week without seeing a homeless person, you know.
Yeah.
Right? We can. And then when we find them or we see them and run into them, somehow subconsciously we avoid those areas so we don't see them again, or as often as we probably would if we traverse those areas often. So again, from a legislative standpoint, we need to implement solutions that are taking care of these issues even when we choose to turn the blind eye.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a willful blindness.
So, right.
Yeah.
And until we come to the realization that, look, before this thing spirals out of control, where we have a small amount of people who needs a large amount of help, we need to start focusing on that. And that's why you always hear me say I don't support charities to feed our children, because nobody shouldn't have to be having a charity ball to feed our children.
Right.
We're supposed to have structurally systems in place to avoid anybody from having to have an annual charity to feed our children.
If you look at world statistics, I think I saw it somewhere where it's like $3 billion towards cancer research. So the money in itself, may be helpful, but it isn't the panacea. So as we go into the break, right? Let me share 3 quick comments from a listener. It says, I love you, caller, and we want to help the homeless people, right? This one says, I agree with Mario. We're not wanting soup kitchens. And hopefully NAU will soon be able to weed out the beggars, versus the people in genuine need. All right, so after the news, take some more calls. Please share, or continue to share as open as you have. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Yesterday, today, always and forever. Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
With a look at your headlines, I'm Dwayne Ebanks. The Cabinet of the Cayman Islands has approved for the Georgetown Primary School to be renamed in honor of retired principal Miss Sharon Marie Martin. The official renaming will take place on the 13th of February at the school hall. In regional news, Dominican Republic leader of the Progressive National Force, Vincio Castelo-Siman, has called on nationals who are in Haiti to leave the French-speaking CARICOM community country as soon as possible, as demonstrations continued to force Prime Minister Dr. Ariel Henry out of office. The Committed to Development Party in Haiti has called for nationwide protests until Wednesday. the day it says Henry's term ends. Political observers say that the date is significant in Haiti since it marked the day that former dictator Jean-Claude Duvalier fled for France. And February 7, 1991 marked the day that Jean-Bertrand Aristide, Haiti's first democratically elected president, was sworn in. In Bermuda, Governor Reina Lagui has appointed former Director of Public Prosecutions Larry Muzzenden as the new Chief Justice for the British Overseas Territory. The former legislator and former president of the Bermuda Football Association succeeds Narinder Hargan, who retired in December. He will take up his new appointment on Thursday. He has over 27 years of professional legal experience in public service and private practice, serving as Crown Counsel, Director of Public Prosecutions, Attorney General, and Minister of Justice. That's a look at your headlines. I'm Jevy Ebanks.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. It's Open Line on Talk Today. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-8037, 949-6990, or 925-3261. Call now.
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us, and thanks to Mario D. Rankin for being with us. Before we take this call respectfully, can I just read a question from one of our listeners earlier? We were saying this question reads: how does the Constitution protect homeless work permit holders?
Well, here's how the Constitution is worded: is that every person that lives and works in the Cayman Islands have the right to survive. So that's a broad stroke of wording.
Okay.
So if we went and told a person to remove themselves off the beach living in your car, we could potentially be violating their right to survive.
Okay.
Now, is there any fine detail or fine print that states what survival means? I didn't see it. I didn't see it in the footnotes. I didn't see it in a reference to some section that says go to section so, because it's referenced this to explain that. I was simply making a broad statement that the Constitution is written in such a way that we have to be extremely careful that we're not violating someone's right by trying to maintain a certain level of lifestyle or in how we live in the Cayman Islands. For lack of a better term, I'm just lost for the terminology right here at this particular moment. But to the person's question, in the Constitution, there's a right to survive.
Okay.
And a right to survive may mean that you got to sleep in the car on the beach and save money to buy food.
Okay, fair enough. Let's take the call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling. Yeah, hello.
Good afternoon, Dwayne.
Hey, welcome, and how are you today?
Okay, and you?
Excellent. Truly excellent.
Okay. Good afternoon to Mario Thomas.
Afternoon, sir.
Okay. You all right, Mario?
Yeah, boy, giving thanks, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Speaking of homelessness with Caymanians, the amount of concessions that government has given away over the last 20 to 25 years, shouldn't be one homeless Caymanian in Cayman Islands.
I 100% agree.
And the worst thing you can do as a leader of a country is to take your poor people money and give it to the rich. About 7 years ago, the General put a report out in the newspaper. She said there was nothing to show that Caymanians got out of any concessions that were given away. Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir, for sharing. Mario?
Hey, listen, I want to say this. That is a very serious statement the man made. And I don't think you need to be a decorated genius to understand what that man just said. He said that all of the concession that has been given to developers over the past 20-odd years If you were to calculate it and then identify the homeless people, you would be able to buy every one of them a house and had change. And I can assure you that he's 100% right. The problem is that we haven't prioritized the well-being and the welfare of our people, regardless if it's their fault that they're suffering. You see, if you have 5 children, and I use this analogy this morning, I use it all the time. If you have 5 children or 7 children or a big family, it is very wishful thinking to think that they're all going to turn out fabulous and whatever. You're going to find one, they're going to need more attention and more help and more assistance than any of the other 4 or 5 or whatever the number is.
Right.
But when you cook food to feed your children, you don't leave the bad one out.
Feed them all, huh?
Matter of fact, you feed him first or her.
Yeah.
Because you want to make sure that they're contented.
Okay, yeah.
So why is it that we're not prioritizing the social ills and the financial woes and the social welfare of our small handful of people who are suffering and struggling? The man made a very serious point, Sterling Dwayne. And I hope people will listen to what he said.
As you share that, the scripture talks about, blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them, right? So, you love your children, you feed them all. But let me ask to that point, relative to concessions and that question has been asked and offended many people. Maybe how it was asked, who asked it, when it was asked, and for whom we were developing. But the government of today will inherit the financial position of governments past, so the ongoing debt, the recurrent expenditures, the like, and the increasing demands on the populace relative to housing and roads and all the infrastructure and all the things, right? So if, to the gentleman's point, if concessions over he was 25 years, such that it may cause the country to forego some of their revenue, and if the governments, this one, subsequent ones, find itself, that's services that we got to borrow, we got to increase taxes, we got to reduce services or whatever, are we, as the government of today, finding ourselves potentially, and as we go down the years, increasingly so, at a space where not only are we in a deficit and deficit spending, but greater hardships because of increased debt. The U.S., if it wasn't the powerful military that it's perceived to be, would be a bankrupt nation.
Right.
Such that this currency will have little value, according to some economists. So what about the Cayman context and the impact now on the cost of living, the quality of life, but also future generations, but now as well?
Well, one of the things that the caller alluded to was what do we get in return for the concessions, right?
Right.
What have been digested by the social by the local economy that would justify these concessions, right? As opposed to just buying a house and giving it to all our homeless people and taking care of them. I listen. I'm on the same page he's on. But what will be sold to us as a general public from a government standpoint would be, oh well, they created jobs and they pump money in the economy and all of these bells and whistles that comes along with the roadshow salesman marketing package is to convince you that, okay, we may give them, and I'm speaking hypothetically,
right?
We may give them $250,000 in due to concessions, but they're gonna bring $400,000 worth of jobs, right? They'll work over a period of time and whatever. But what we're not paying attention to, that those jobs are in transit. They're during the process of the building. When the building is done and the construction is over, that money that was made is gone, right? And the benefits from that development will remain and continue long term.
Right.
They'll make money from that development way into the future, but the immediate benefits that we supposedly get are short term in transit during the construction section of it. So again, how do we measure the benefits that we get from the concessions in which we yield in order to encourage inward bound investment in our island? Now I'll just say this right quick, and then we'll go to I guess if you're another caller. We gonna call her?
No, I listened to watch them, so he'll tell me when.
So when we look at the the reality of our GDP, our gross domestic product, man, Sterling, we are in a big mess because a large part of our gross domestic product comes from the industries that creates our social breakdown. Yeah. Everybody get a driver's license, revenue come from that. The more cars on the road, the more accidents, the more body shop get work, the more tires, the more gas the gas station sells. It runs the economy.
Cycle. Right.
These are going to be the things that politicians use to justify keeping the system the way it is, right? Then when you look at the need and the revenue generated from work permits, you will always see Caymanians being marginalized in the workforce and in the labor force simply because not only does certain businesses enjoy cheap labor, the government also enjoy the revenue that comes from granting work permits and submitting applications. So these are the pros and cons. Mm-hmm. It should be pros and cons because there's more cons than pros when you draw this up on the drawing board. So until we are able to diversify how we generate our GDP that don't rely on those things that have socially deteriorated because of the mass influx of granting of all these things, we are going to constantly be paying the piper. We're going to always understand the social ills and spills because it's just going to compound, and the more people the larger the population get, the larger the issues become. Yeah. Right? So
one of our listeners posed a couple of questions, and I want to take this first one. I think I think it's a sort of pertinent to what you shared. It's in relation to the people who have been granted PR, and the emailer asks the question, if it's as alleged, people here who have been granted PR have not paid their PR fees, but they're still benefiting from what the country offers. Mm-hmm. Do we know who they are, what numbers and what costs, and why is that the case? I'm paraphrasing, but that seems to be an issue that goes quietly by the wayside.
Well, because we have this huge backlog of PR applications, and then you have people who are waiting for the ultimate result, and then you have those who have been granted and haven't paid, and yet they still live in our society, they still reap the benefits and all these different things. It's because, again, let's go to the Constitution. We have to keep going back to the Constitution, because when a person has gone through the required process and time that gives them the eligibility to apply for PR, then naturally they're going to be allowed to sit out the process.
Right.
Now, sorry, and if the process is delayed because of our inefficiencies, then how are we going to tell them, you need to go home to wait the outcome?
Yeah, okay. I hear what you're saying, but let's say a person, been granted, it's been approved, right? And the fee isn't paid for whatever reason. Some have alleged it's too costly, they can't afford it, whichever. All sorts of things have been alleged. I liken it. I know it's not the same, but I liken it to, as an analogy, I have a service provider, my electric, my water, at the grocery store. If I go in and I don't have funds to pay, or if it's my utility and I consume and I don't pay, at some point, will I be able to continue the service?
Yeah, but the electricity company and the water company can turn you off, Sterling.
No, I get that.
When we grant something and give them the grant and give them the approval, they have it.
Okay.
They just haven't paid for it yet.
Okay.
So what to your point, I know where you're going with that analogy.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, and I agree with you, what needs to take place is that if you don't pay, then it should be revoked and stripped away.
So why don't we do that? I mean, am I being I'm not trying to be offensive to anyone in the
Go and review certain sections of the Constitution. Hey, listen to me. People keep saying, why you mean the Constitution? Listen, the Constitution need to be heavily redacted and reformed and rewritten.
And it applies to all of us, So as we go into the break, let me ask then, in the interest of fairness, person A struggles and pays because person A believes that's the right thing to do, they have a good conscience and all those things.
Right.
So they make that sacrifice to pay that fee. Person B says, you know what? Why? No harm, no foul, If I don't pay, I can still play. That's on us, right?
Well, no, absolutely. And Which politician that you know of, recent, past, or present, is willing to go into caucus, submit an idea of putting in a penalty for unpaid PRs? Who gonna do it?
Okay, well, all right. As a question we should answer after, all right? Let's take this final break of today's show. Please stay tuned and rejoin us right after.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments from the 5th to the 10th of February at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited. Whether you are seeking advanced skin care, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full service and dermatological service practice. For more information, email drporterkman@gmail.com or call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That's 946-9020.
It's time to update your information. If you've recently changed your postal address, phone number, or email address, please let your Water Authority customer service team know. Remember, non-receipt of a bill does not constitute a release from liability for payment. Visit our website, www.waterauthority.ky, to download and fill out our customer information update form, or contact our customer service team at info@waterauthority.ky or braccs@waterauthority.ky, or call 949-2837.
This spring, say hello to Los Angeles. Explore foodie havens, local markets, art exhibitions, cultural shows, theater, you name it. Getting to LA is easy with 2 non-stop flights weekly aboard Cayman Airways. Midweek airfares are now on sale from just $410 CI round trip. Some conditions apply. Check out our socials for more inspiration and visit CaymanAirways.com to book. Sale ends February 14th. Now is the time to see LA your way.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us. 949-8037, 949-6990, or you can WhatsApp call 925-32621. Mario D. Rankin, thanks for sharing. Listening to the comments that we've read, the callers, and certainly your, considered perspective. I'm encouraged that people are at least willing to champion what they believe in, challenge what they've heard, and it seems to be in a very civil, engaging way.
Right.
Man, that's good for us as
That's important.
That's important.
Mm-hmm.
But it speaks to us as a people willing to, look at, the country and not be willfully blind.
Right.
There, by the grace of God, go I. It could be any of us on that 2 and 3 jobs, trying to make ends meet, feeling under pressure, and as you referenced earlier, the pride.
Mm-hmm.
Pride goeth before the fall, we're told. But how do we, anyway.
Well, I just think on the PR note.
Yeah,
I think that we need to put a moratorium on PRs and status grants in Cayman. With special consideration with statuses in regards to Caymanian children born to a Caymanian parent. That's different.
Yeah.
But we need to put a moratorium. We need to put a moratorium on permanent residences immediately, so that we can properly digest the ones that we've gotten and the ones that are backlogged.
Okay.
Right? Because all we're really doing is just piling them on, just piling it up on already bad situation. You know, I know that the PAC government had revoked, well, I'd not say revoke, I would say refused, or some that weren't paid. I think I'd read some article some time back, and there was a huge pushback, and I believe threatened lawsuits and all sorts of stuff.
But
so, I mean, this is why I always say to you, we need to reshape and rewrite that Constitution.
Okay. You said, and I'm going to repeat it because I want to make sure I heard it. Which politician, will advocate for this thing, whether at caucus or on a campaign trail?
Yeah. Who?
Okay. Why wouldn't they do that? Courage? The voters won't support? I mean, I'm not trying to be facetious. I'm not even trying to. But why wouldn't?
The lightning speed that social media spreads information, no politician wants to risk their political mileage for something that is unpopular, whether it be persons who can vote for them or not, but the people who are being affected by that know people who can vote, influences people who can vote, run in certain circles where people can vote. So politicians doesn't normally run that risk, right?
But is this where we need? Maybe long ago we say here, but I'm not a politician, I'm a statesman. Is that just semantics? Or we need people?
I just think that, all right, okay, here's my opinion.
Yeah.
I think if we wrote strong policies and laws and constitutional order, then politicians have to go by those things, or they're not doing their job.
Okay. On the whole issue,
we can't leave it in the hands of politicians. I'm sorry.
Well,
that's just my opinion.
Okay. I'm going to pick you up on that. I say to friends and family, I've said it publicly, the politicians may be justifiably accused of not doing this or not doing this the right way. But we are the voters in a democracy. As voters, are we sufficiently informed, engaged, and involved, and willing to accept responsibility to say, like you just said, you can't leave in the hands of a politician. So where are we as, not the wider society, that pocket defined as the electors, the voters, where are we in this whole equation?
Referendum.
Okay.
Remember, in situations like this, in most of our situations, it's not what we've done, it's what we didn't do.
That's a country song. It's not what I did.
You understand? So, and I can assure you that in the absence of implementing proper structure, we're going to have the runaway basket of inefficiencies that we've seen. And we all know that. And I know civil servants are going to hate me for saying this, but, one of the hardest things to do in the world is to get rid of a chief officer or fire a civil servant for not doing their job. And ministries are only as good as the people that work in those ministries. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not pointing the fingers at any one ministry or any one person. I'm just simply saying is that the legislators, the policymakers, the shakers and the movers need to start implementing some serious things, and 9 times out of 10, the right thing isn't always the most popular thing.
All right, I want to ask you something about that in relation to concessions and the like, right? But one of our listeners shares this. Mario, children come, they're born. It's too easy to use a child born to a Caymanian parent eligibility for PR. The parent can carry that child and return to their home country. I read it verbatim. I'm going to read it over.
Yeah. Are they saying that a child born to a Caymanian?
So it says
or in Cayman?
Yeah. You know what?
Put on your glasses.
Put on my glasses. I should clean them too. Put my hands. See, I can read it as is and interpret it. Okay. Mario, children come/born. It's too easy to use the child born to a Caymanian parent as eligible to get the PR. That parent can carry the child and return to their home. So using the fact that you have a child born to a Caymanian and non-Caymanian parent as eligibility for the PR shouldn't be necessary and possible.
Well, when I said that special allowances should be for statuses should be for a child or a person born to a Caymanian parent, I was referencing the child, not the person who has a status.
Okay.
You follow what I'm saying? I was referencing the child itself. So I'm saying is that if a Caymanian, whether married or not, has a child with a foreign person who doesn't have any PR or any residency or status in Cayman, that child should be eligible for status in PR, not the parent that is not a Caymanian.
Okay. I want to ask that question, but there's a
But clearly there is some there is obviously some easier hurdles to cross once you've had a Caymanian child.
I'm not expecting an answer from you. I'm expecting you to know this, but I want to share this as this person has sent it through perhaps a little bit more clearly this time for my benefit. On the premise that we understand now children born in Cayman after a certain time before the age you think can become naturalized. And the person said that the impression before was being born here does not give you a right to status, but understanding that being born here, you can now apply to be naturalized, and wants to know if we know anything about it, what's the conflict. I don't have an answer that I would want to voice publicly. Do you know? I'll seek it out, find out. So it seems that being born here in the past was the perception that just because you're born here doesn't mean you get status. But it seems to be the practice now that being born here can lead to naturalization.
But what I do know for a fact is that in the past, in the very distant past, so not real recently, that if a child born here that didn't have Caymanian ties was not automatic that they get any papers or any rights to papers.
We share that perception.
Right? That was not the case. Now I knew the 2009 draft constitution reform. There were some changes made within that because we were struggling with Caymanian fathers who were being discriminated against by having children with foreigners that weren't residents or weren't living here, and then the child, the father had to apply for the child to get status, and then had to show DNA, which is not a natural process. But I'm just saying, but when a mother had a child for a foreign person, that child got status because they born here and they got their stuff, and there was a slight discrimination against the men, and I think they had rectified that from what I
which is separate, which is
separate.
Right.
No. Right. So I don't know what it currently is at this moment in regards to a child born in Cayman without any Caymanian parents, what their status becomes. I don't know. No. I would have to review
between
that.
us. Remind me, because this person
I'm going to review it now.
Writes back to say I'm speaking specifically about a child born to two non-Caymanian parents, none of whom have status and PR and the like, and that child before the age of 18 can apply and will be granted naturalization if the child was born here and is residing in the Cayman at the time. Now, I don't
want to share a comment because I don't know.
Yeah.
If my first hunch would be that I don't think that's the case, but it could very well be the case.
Okay.
Is all I'm saying.
All right. Let me.
But I'm gonna I'll definitely make a note of that and I'll look into it.
Yeah.
For my own personal benefit.
Good. I reckon it's the time and for a future discussion. This is not just a cliffhanger to get you to come back on.
No, that's all right.
But you referenced something earlier, and I want to liken it to the discussion that we had publicly. Mr. O.C. was facilitating it relative to concessions. And seemingly, as what was shared publicly, concessions, if you want to know how much concession has been granted in which areas, depending on what it was and where it was in, there will be multiple agencies of government that you will have to go to get information. It wasn't all collated in one space, right? Is that your understanding as well?
No, that's not my understanding. And again, these are some of the things that we need to do proper research on before we make any public comment or any suggestion. I don't subscribe to passing comment on something I don't know anything.
That's what I like with you. So with that, like the first comment relative to being born here and after, I'm wondering, do we know how many people in our country have PR that have not been paid, right?
We know.
Okay. So if we know that...
We have to know.
Hey.
We process the application.
Okay.
We collect the fees.
Yeah. Because that's only a true immigration.
Some person on the side of the road don't process the application and don't collect the fees. We do those things. So we must know what applications have gone in, what has been granted, and what has been paid.
Okay, so if an FOI or a question was asked, how many people, not knowing names, nothing, how many people are granted PR and have not paid the fees? Not even how much the fees are even, right?
Right.
We should be able to get that answer.
Well, yeah, I would imagine.
Okay.
Right? What I'm saying is this, is that if we don't know those things, that means we fail in miserably in those departments.
Okay, so we're going to ask. Before I share this final comment on a positive note, but Ms. Marie, do you have anything else you want to share with us, my friend?
I just want to say thank you for, I guess, inviting me and letting me come in and we can have the open dialogue. I think platforms that create awareness, regardless of what area, is extremely important. I like to have the engagement of the public and the questions and the different things, because today I've benefited from some of the questions. Now I want to know what the status of a child that's born to do non-Caymanians. I need to know whether they can be naturalized, because me as a Caymanian and my children as Caymanians who born to two Caymanian people still have to get a letter to prove that they're Caymanian. So if somebody can born in our island, no Caymanian parent, and automatically become eligible to be naturalized, I'm a little pissed.
Oh, listen to me now. That's so. Anyway, thank you for that. Let me close out with this. One of our listeners wrote, this came in just after 2. So just heard the news at the 2 p.m. headline about the Georgetown primary being renamed after Miss Marie Martin. And I wanted to write and say congratulations to Miss Marie on this honor. Having had the privilege and pleasure to work with her on some projects several years back, she's also been the utmost professional. So congratulations. I think we all know Miss Marie. She's a loving, caring, really wonderful lady who has been there for education. I wanted to end on that because not only is it positive, but it shows when people consistently do something that is right from the heart. It reward,
I can relate to that immensely because my grandaunt that raised me and my brother, Sister Janice, dedicated her entire life to education. She was a teacher.
Yes.
And for as long as I can remember, and she died a teacher.
Yeah. Mario, thank you very much. And I say this very sincerely and publicly. The invitation was extended to you. I'll continue to be extended, and to others who are willing to sit and share their perspective. There's only one requirement, speak in a way that encourages others to share as well. This is not about dogma. It's not about being so adamant and indignant that we can't hear and agree when there's a discerning view that everybody has an opinion. So enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
You too, and you're listening public. God bless. You all have a good day.
All right, we're going to pause. Thanks so much for listening and being a part of it. If we are, willing to lift up each other, we'll find it to be better. Until tomorrow, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.